2,000 years ago, an emperor sat alone in his tent, writing to no one but himself. He wasn't writing for fame. He wasn't writing for an audience. He was writing because he needed to survive his own mind. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and the words he wrote became one of the most powerful books ever created on mental toughness. Today, we're breaking down 10 habits, his habits, and the habits of the Stoics who came before him, that will make you mentally unbreakable. Stay until the end, because habit number 1 is the one almost everyone gets backwards. Habit 1. Control what is yours, release what isn't. The Stoics built their entire philosophy on one dividing line. On one side, your thoughts, your actions, your effort, your judgments. On the other side, everything else. Other people's opinions, the weather, the economy, what happened yesterday. The Stoics trained themselves daily to ask a single question before reacting to anything. Is this within my control? If it isn't, they let it go, not with resignation, but with discipline. This single habit eliminates the majority of unnecessary suffering in a person's life, because most of our pain doesn't come from events. It comes from fighting events we were never going to win against in the first place. Habit 2. Rehearse adversity before it arrives. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning, they would mentally walk through the worst-case scenarios of the day ahead, not to become pessimists, but to strip fear of its power. When you've already imagined losing the job, losing the deal, being embarrassed in front of a room, when it actually happens, it doesn't break you, because you already made peace with it in advance. Unbreakable people are not people who never face hardship. They're people who already rehearsed it. Habit 3. Treat obstacles as instructions, not insults. Marcus Aurelius wrote a line that has outlived empires. The impediment to action advances action. Every obstacle in your path is not a personal attack from the universe. It's data. It's information about what needs to change, what needs to be built stronger, what needs to be avoided next time. The moment you stop treating obstacles as unfair and start treating them as instructions, they lose their power to defeat you. Habit 4. Master your first reaction. Seneca warned that anger, fear, and panic are not things that happen to you. They are things you agree to. Between the event and your reaction, there is a gap. In that gap lives your freedom. The Stoics trained that gap the way an athlete trains a muscle. Pause, breathe, examine the thought before letting it run your behavior. The untrained mind reacts in half a second. The disciplined mind chooses. Habit 5. Remember that everything is temporary. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves of memento mori. Remember that you will die. Not as a morbid exercise, but as a filter. It strips away the small, petty things that feel urgent but mean nothing, and puts your real priorities into sharp focus. When you remember time is finite, weak distractions lose their grip on you. Habit 6. Choose your circle deliberately. Epictetus taught that character is contagious. Spend time with those who complain, and complaining becomes normal. Spend time with those who take responsibility, and responsibility becomes your default. The unbreakable person is ruthless about who gets access to their time and attention. Habit 7. Act. Don't perform. The Stoics valued quiet competence over public display. Do the work because the work matters, not because someone is watching. This removes your dependence on approval, and anything that doesn't depend on approval cannot be taken from you by other people's opinions. Habit 8. Journal the mind daily. Marcus Aurelius's private writings were never meant to be published. They were maintenance, a daily practice of examining thoughts, catching bad patterns, and resetting intention. This is one habit you can start tonight with nothing but a notebook. Habit 9. Practice voluntary discomfort. Seneca occasionally lived like he had nothing, even while wealthy. Cold showers, simple meals, short walks in bad weather. Not for suffering's sake,
but so comfort never became a requirement for functioning. The person who needs comfort to operate is fragile. The person who can operate without it is unbreakable. Habit 10. Return to the present moment. The Stoics believe the past cannot be changed, and the future cannot be controlled, which means the only place your power actually exists is right now, in this moment, in this action. Unbreakable people are not people without pain. They are people who keep their attention anchored where their power actually lives. That's 10 habits the Stoics used to build minds that could not be shaken by chaos, loss, or failure. Which one do you need most right now? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And if you want the daily version of this philosophy, subscribe, because next week we go deeper into exactly how Marcus Aurelius handled failure at the highest level in the world.